Hi, Kuthla here. And first things first, I wanted to give a shout out to roblesterfilms. He is my 31st subscriber, so thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll want to stick around and see some more of my stuff. And I also have to send an apology to Lieber Anarchy. Our audio session that we had recording the Marvel character creation, uh, I don't know what the hell happened. I couldn't find the thing to put it together, and I've been looking for it for about the past day or so, and I can't find it. I have a feeling it got deleted somehow. And I still have the character sheet. And so, but if you want to try to do it again, let me know. And, but like I said, it's like that just pissed me off to no end that I lost that. And it was just really, really irritating. So, um, we will get that and just put it up for the lulz a little bit later. Like I said, but we're going to have to redo the session. And, bleh, that just sucks. Anyway, on to what this video is. A little while ago, of course, I check on Rich, Shaka God, every now and then, and I saw that he had put up a Bible study video, basically, on the 18th. Now, after my wonderful little thing of with the mishap with the audio file with Libre Anarchy, um, I went and out of frustration, I was just like, well, I'm gonna turn that frustration into editing. And I put together a little bit of a video talking about his video. I'll put a link into the bar, but watch it at your own risk. It's like 15 minutes and 2 seconds long. It's a long ass video. I myself just am getting into the video, the meat of this, and dissecting the living hell out of his video on some of the more outrageous shit that he said in there. So let's get into it.
We're in John 6, and Jesus just finished feeding the people, and so they're following him around.
Okay, got you there. John chapter 6. Uh, hey, wait a minute. John chapter 6. After Jesus fed the masses, like the 5,000 people followed him around, and he made all the bread and fish from a couple loaves of bread and some fish a kid caught. Okay, well, maybe you should cite something here then, Rich. You should probably cite what version of the Bible you're using and what verse in said chapter. I know because I went and checked. You're using a King James version of the Bible, which apparently John in the King James version of the Bible wasn't worth having two books, so they just combined them. But the passage that Rich is talking about, just in case you want to look it up in the King James version of the Bible, is John chapter 6, starts at verse 22. So, so that way get a little bit of confusion cleared up there.
If you look at all these false gods and other false religions and stuff, they're not coming down from heaven. Muhammad admitted he was just a man. He didn't come from heaven. Buddha, Buddhism, he was just a man. He didn't come from heaven. So you can't really put Jesus in the category of religion.
What? Did you just seriously say that Jesus isn't religion? Why, that would.
Madness.
And on top of that, you contradicted yourself there. I mean, you're saying that, Jesus is God. um, didn't you just earlier say that uh, Jesus was also known as the Son of Man? Twice?
And he's always referred to as the Son of Man, Son of God, the Son God's of Man. Will is for all of us to be saved through Jesus Christ and live forever. Sounds like a loving God to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that God is a great loving guy, except for oh yeah, there was that one guy who, when they got the Ark of the Covenant back, and it almost fell out of wagon, so he reached out to keep it from hitting the ground, and God smited him dead for being nice. And Then there was the 50,000 other people that, because they couldn't get the Ark of the Covenant back sooner, so he killed all of them. And let's not forget all the people that were in Egypt, who then God went, and when he started sending the plagues down, he sent them down and purposely made it so that the Pharaoh wouldn't listen to Moses. So therefore he could put the plagues down. That's a, yeah, that's a real loving guy there. Um, I guess I can't really argue that.
Don't listen to these nut job atheists and God haters on YouTube that say God wants you to go to hell. He doesn't. Says it throughout the whole Bible, he doesn't.
Actually, that's a good bit of advice there, Rich. But it doesn't just pertain to your religious choices or whatnot. I mean, it pretty much pertains to everything, in which case, check it out for yourself. Find out, decide for certain if this is what you want to do, you know? And, you're also right on the point that it does say in there, by golly, that God does want you to go to heaven. But it also does say that all men are born into sin. What this means is that mom is sitting there and she gives birth to little Timmy. And as soon as she pushes him out, he's sinned. So he's going to hell. This is what's called original sin. And it goes all the way back to the book of Genesis with Adam and Eve. You know? But, you're right. It does say that God wants you to go to heaven.
There's a really good part I want to read, but it's like way over here, so I better hurry up because I'm probably going to have to skip some part.
Madness.
All right. And, and this little part here, I mean, like I said, first off, you're skipping over so much stuff that was mentioned in John 6. And so you mentioned the miracle of him feeding the 5,000. What you don't bother to mention there is the fact that, this is over in Galilee by the Sea of Tiberias. You don't mention the fact that after he fed them, Jesus left, because this was happening about the time of Passover and whatnot, and that he initially wanted to buy the bread, but he instead had to do the miracle. You're not mentioning the fact that after he had done the miracle, Jesus then left the area because the people that were there would have tried to take him and make him king by force. He didn't want that, And you're also completely, you didn't even bother to mention the fact that this was also the chapter that Jesus walked on water. A good, what was it that said in here? Oh, yeah. So this is John chapter 6, verse 19. So when they rode about 5 and 20 or 30 furlongs, they see Jesus walking upon the sea and drawing nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. You completely missed that. The only thing you focused on was the conversation, and you skipped out a ton of that too. You mentioned the thing to where the people talked about Moses feeding them in the desert and whatnot, but you also don't mention in here to where Jesus gives this almost rather grim sermon when he's talking with them about the spiritual feeding of the soul and whatnot, because before he mentions that, I mean, the way he's talking about it, is to, this is my flesh, this is my blood. Let those that come and eateth of my flesh and drinketh of my blood be filled. I mean, until he says that it is of a spiritual nature, it almost sounds like he's endorsing cannibalism, you know? So I mean, there's so much stuff in John chapter 6 that you're skipping out because you're preferring to jump straight down to verse 22, the day after Jesus walked on water and fed the 5,000. And then you just are talking about the things that were going on there and the big discussion he had. I would have tried to read it, but I guarantee you it probably would have taken me over 6 minutes to read the whole thing on there. So, but like I said, I mean, God, mention the important stuff. Don't just mention the talk. You mention the important stuff, the stuff that's supposed to inspire, because isn't that what you're trying to get people to do? You want them to be inspired to become Christians and stuff. You're not even mentioning the stuff to be inspired about.
I have learned that I'm not perfect.
You got that right, Rich.
And even the people that walk with Jesus and even his enemies admitted nobody spoke like this man.
I think Twain and Ingersoll were better speakers, but that's just my opinion.
They even think maybe he's going to kill himself. They talk about that.
Madness.
Okay, now that particular statement, first off, you don't even bother to say that you have moved on to John chapter 7. And the particular reference that you're making there about where will Jesus go will be to the Gentiles, whatnot. Um, especially the whole thing about him possibly killing himself, as what people were thinking around there. You don't mention the verse. The verse is John chapter 7, verse 35. And nowhere in John chapter 7 does it say that the people thought Jesus was going to kill himself. I mean, that there is just flat out stupid, and you're also flat out lying about the text that you love so very much.
When I was a non believer, just reading the Bible, immediately you go, wow, it's like the shock of God in your life for the.
And of course, you gotta manage to get that shameless self promotion plug in there. Nice. So, as you can see there, like I said, mind you, I chose some of the choice bits out there, and with, like I said, especially on some points, like I said, with a little help from ZJ, um, just because of the sheer ridiculousness, and I myself, I needed something to actually add as a little bit of a break there because, I mean, when I saw those, I was dumbfounded. And so, since ZJ has it on his site that he's like, feel free to use clips or segments from his videos and splice them in. I mean, he has it right there on his main page. I borrowed the "It's Madness" line from him to make that point. Because, like I said, just some of the stuff that Rich was saying in that video is just flat out crazy. So, but anyhow, that's a video just basically dissecting the fact for, like I said, and this is also done for the benefit of Rich's subscribers. So that way they can see this and they will hopefully start thinking, and get away from this man. So, but anyhow, that's my time. I'm Kuthla, and thank you for watching.